Hello, how are you doing today? Teresha Young here, relationship master coach, and I am back with another real relationship talk tip for you. I hope that you've been taking great diamond dazzling care of yourself and other people, as I like to talk about each and every week. So, for this week's real relationship talk tip, I would like to ask yourself, are you betraying yourself? Now, I know that is a very loaded word, but the reason why I'm doing this talk this week is because I had a few questions come back from my last week's video about pouring into your own cup, making sure that it's filled so that you can pour from the overflow, about what does it look like if you are depleting your cup? Well, it can show up in the form of self-betrayal. Now, when you think about the word betrayal, what thoughts, feelings, emotions are provoked for you? If somebody has betrayed you, you probably feel like that person has let you down, they've disappointed you, they've abandoned you, they've been disloyal, perhaps they've broken a promise to you. Now ask yourself, are you doing all of those things to yourself? And you may be thinking, but how do I know if I am betraying myself? Well, often it will just be a feeling. Take a recall. Think back to some of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your behaviors and your results. Do you feel that they are in alignment of who you are, where you want to be in life, love, and your relationships? If not, there is probably a form of self-betrayal, or some people call it self-sabotage, that is happening, and it is often unintentional. So please do not beat yourself up about it. It is a multitude of habits that you have accumulated since you were a child that have built up. And these are called paradigms. And the great thing is that paradigms can be shifted so that you have more empowering, healthy habits. Now, one of the ways in which you may be betraying yourself is by not valuing your needs. Quite often, we can be very self-sacrificing when it comes to the situations in our lives and also in our relationships. Do you find that you are being a people pleaser, maybe even unintentional, saying yes when you actually mean no? And no may not have a full stop at the end of it. It might actually be not yet. Or no could be next opportunity, NO. It just might not be time for you right now. And often when we say yes, when we say no, we are not being our true selves. And we have to start saying yes to ourselves. Stop self-sacrificing, stop compromising our needs. There are times, yes, when we do need to maybe put our needs to one side, particularly you might be a parent, for example, and you might have a poorly child, or you might have caring responsibilities, whatever it is. I can completely understand that those are situations whereby you might have to put your needs to one side for the moment, but you do have to come back to yourself. So that is a huge indicator of you self-sacrificing, of a self-betrayal. But as I said before, you can move yourself out of that situation. You may also just be feeling generally low vibe feelings, feelings of hopelessness, helplessness. You may not even be taking charge of your life and failing to take, I say failing, but not taking responsibility for the things in your life. Because we are empowered beings, we can take responsibility for our lives. There are a number of things that may be happening to cause self-betrayal. But as I said, it's okay. You can move forward into a more positive, optimistic, satisfying way of being. Certain practices, such as practicing gratitude, is a great way in order to shift paradigms. Think about your limiting beliefs. Where are you right now and where do you want to be? Rewrite your story. What is your limiting belief? You may have a limiting belief that, for example, you will never be in a loving, fulfilling, healthy, satisfying relationship. So what's the polar opposite of that? Start writing that out. Write it out 100 times a day if you need to, in order to rewire the way that you're thinking. Because when you can change the way that you think, it moves on into the way that you are feeling and your emotions. That impacts on the actions and the behaviors that you take, and therefore producing your results. The TEAR acronym, you probably have heard me talk about that before. Your thoughts affect your emotions, that affects the actions that you take, and that leads to the results that you receive. Now, I have a video on my YouTube channel, Teresha Young, all about owning your personal power. And this will help you to avoid that self-betrayal so that you can move into a more empowering state. It's a 4-part series. I would encourage you to check it out on all about how to own your personal power. It talks about signs that you lack your personal power, and it talks about how you can grasp it and take it back. Because it's so important, because when you can pour into your own cup, keep it filled, also be able to pour from the overflow, you will find that life feels so much more rewarding for you. So be aware of those self-betrayal indicators and don't beat yourself up for having them. Because as I said, it's probably a multitude of habits that you have built up over the years. But the great thing is that it can be changed. So check out that 4-part series on my Teresha Young YouTube channel. So that's it for this week's Real Relationship Talk tip. I hope that you had some value from that and that you can take away some of the lessons and learnings from this video and move yourself into a much more empowering state. I am sending you so much love and can't wait to catch up with you again for next week's talk. Take care of yourself and much love.